Let's see what's going on Twitter today. Notifications. Patiently waiting for ATR stop loss video. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. I'm your host, Cobra Trading. So today, that is right, finally after a long anticipated wait, I'm going to do the video on the ATR stop loss. I was kind of hesitant to do this because this is my own personal secret for not getting stopped out on huge moves and swing failure patterns on Bitcoin, whether I'm trading on an hour chart or if I'm swing trading on like a 4-hour or daily time frame. This is my own personal strategy that I use. I struggled with this for quite some time, constantly getting stopped out in places. I'm sure that you have too. And this is another thing that's applicable to any market. So whether you're trading Forex, futures, stocks, Bitcoin, it's not going to matter. This is going to apply to everything.
But Cobra, it's so easy. All you do is set your stop loss below the last low.
No, that's not all you have to do. And I promise you that if that's what you have been doing, it hasn't been working out too great for you. Let's go ahead and dive into this video right after this. All right, guys, before we start, I do want to let you know something. Again, stop losses, and I've got a Medium article on this as well. It'll be linked in the description below. There is no one size fits all stop loss. I hate to tell you that, but it's true. If you want to learn more about how the ATR is actually calculated, go ahead, jump on Google it. I'm not going to bore you with the mathematical equations and all of that stuff. All I know is that it measures volatility based on a predefined length of time. So we're going to be using the default, which is 20 or 14. I forgot which one it is. We'll check it out on the chart. Right before we head over to the charts, I want to let you all know that with this pop-up box, either here or here, wherever it is, those are going to be the entry rules for the next $50 giveaway, which is going to be on the 17th. Okay, so the cutoff date for that is going to be Tuesday next week. So make sure that you haven't entered yet. Make sure that you're liked and subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you're following me and retweeting all of these posts on Twitter, where probably you came from to watch this video. But make sure that you're doing all that. I really appreciate all of the love and support. And as a thank you, that's why I'm running these contests on a fairly regular basis. So for all of the participants that have entered, good luck. And if you still have yet to enter, make sure that you do that in the comments below. Now, let's head over to the charts. All right, guys. So to follow along and do this technique like I do, the only thing that you're going to need is whatever chart that you're using, your ATR indicator, and of course, a calculator. This is Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart is what I normally end up doing my swings on. So I'm going to show you a trade that I actually took. I believe I entered, it was like somewhere around here. This is pretty much where I'm going to want to enter my trade, right? But I mean, where am I going to put my stop loss up here? Like, am I going to look to the right? Is it going to be somewhere above here? Where do I really put this thing? Do I put it, above these wicks over here? Like a lot of people look at the historical price action, or what they do is they just say, okay, well, this is the current price action. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it right above, the price action, so most people would say, okay, I want an odd number. Let's do 12,000, what is it at? 12,200, let's say 57 or something. Okay. So let's actually label this with yellow text and just call this typical stop. Okay. So this is pretty much your typical stop loss. Now, what we're going to do is let's get the ATR on our screen. That's an indicator. So to get that on the screen on TradingView, click indicators in the search bar, type ATR. It should come right up. Bam. So here's your ATR. We're going to leave this all on default. We're going to leave this all on default settings here, right? So everything's default. The length is 14. It's measured by an RMA. Don't change any of this stuff. Just leave it the way that it is. The only thing I'm going to change, and the only thing I recommend you change, is the color. And I'm going to make it a little thicker so that you guys can see it. The other thing is you have to make sure that these numbers right here, when you move your mouse over it on the chart, you have to make sure those numbers are there. If they're not, right click your chart, go to settings, and make sure that indicator titles and or indicator of values is checked. If values isn't checked, that number is not going to show up there. So make sure that that's on if you don't see that number. Another important tip, when you're calculating this and you're looking at the chart, make sure that your crosshair is all the way over into a blank part of the screen. That's going to tell you what the current ATR is. If you're about to enter a position, but your cursor is over here somewhere, your stop loss is going to be way looser than you would want it to be because the ATR was way higher over here. Okay. So make sure that you're getting the correct ATR's number. All right. So we've got our typical stop of where most people would be placing their stop losses, right? If they were trying to short this. So snag your calculator and you're going to do the current ATR, which is 177 and 14 cents. And you're going to times that number by 3. Okay. That's $531.42. You're going to add that to the price that you're entering at. For this make-believe example, we're going to use the current price, action price, which is $12,035.66. Boom. This is your stop level. So what you're going to do, let me move this off the screen. So what you're going to do is you're going to make your stop. We'll just title this R stop. We'll make it a red line or whatever. Okay, that's cool. And then this is going to be 12,567 and 8 cents. Okay, so this is going to be our stop. This is a typical stop. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for levels that we want to take profit at. For swing trades, normally I like to take profit at 4 different levels, 25% of my position per each one. This is a good first level. That's a good second level. Down here, there's some historical support in this cluster in here. That's a good third level. Maybe move this up just a little higher. Let's look for a fourth level. Probably down here, I think would be a good fourth level. I know exactly what you're thinking right now.
But Cobra, I don't get it. I mean, that stop loss is so loose that really sucks.
Calm down. I literally said at the beginning of this that this is for swing trades. Notice how we're on the 4-hour chart here, okay? Don't worry about it. If you use the same strategy on the 1-hour chart, obviously the number is going to be lower because the ATR is measuring on a different time frame, okay? For swing trades, you're going to be in those trades for a week or two or whatever. Don't worry about it. And I'll show you how amazing the ROI and risk reward ratio for this trade actually is. Here's what we're going to do, right? When you've got all these levels on the screen, you're going to go over here. You're going to get your short position measurer and you're going to, let me put a line for our entry real quick before I do that. You come over here, you get your short position measurer and you click, and we're going to put ours up here. Let me just modify it so that it's actually correct. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh man, your first profit level with that stop, it's only barely a 1-to-1 ratio. Hey, 1-to-1, it's a little over 1-to-1. That should normally be your first take profit level. I do that by a rule of thumb. Anyway, second profit level, you're looking at almost 2.5-to-1. Third, you're looking at a little over 3-to-1, and your target way down here looking at 4-to-1. A 4-to-1 trade is absolutely excellent. You're talking almost 18%, and that would be on spot. So if this is even a 5x trade, 17.93, if you were to 5x this trade, you're looking at almost 90%. So we're going to leave this here. We're going to drag this way over just because we're on a 4-hour chart. It's going to take some time. And let's just go ahead and press the play button and see how this turned out, right? So we hit our first profit level, came back to entry, hovering around. Oh, boom, right here. Okay, see, look what just happened here. So all of the traders that entered here that didn't get out, there was a lot of support down here around where we took profit, right? So our profits were probably a lot of longs stop losses from way back here. That's why we've got all these wicks. Price shot up, okay? Price shot back up when it hovered around our entry, and then it blew right past that and hit a lot of people's stop losses up here. But guess what happened to ours? Ours is safe. Ours never got hit up here. We're totally safe. So let's continue watching the price action and just kind of see what happened here. Click play, came back down to our first entry. If it didn't trigger the first time, we got it now. Hovering. Oh, wow. Massive, massive dip. And all of our other take profits just hit on that. So now this is actually the current price action. These aren't even what my exact take profit levels were. They were probably slightly differently. I mean, you saw how fast I drew these levels out, but regardless, if this was your swing trade, this would have been extremely successful. This would have been a 90% trade. I think mine was about 88 or something like that on leverage. So let's go ahead and do another example, because again, I think I know what you're thinking here.
Cobra, I mean, what about the 1 hour chart? Like, I hate swing trading on 4 hours. It just takes too long.
Don't worry. You intraday trade on the 1 hour chart and maybe leave a position open for a day or two. I got you. Let's go and use an example on this chart. I'm going to go back to a random time. Let's just go all the way back. I guess let's say, I don't know, here. What is this? This was on the 7th at 8 p.m. Okay, so we've got our ATR here, and let's say that we want to go long on this, right? We want to long our support. This is our support here, and we want to go long from here. Okay, we want to go long. And this is going to be our entry, right? So where would our typical stop be? I mean, like probably here, right? Like this would be our typical stop. So we'll label this red and go ahead and say typical stop. We don't want our stop where the typical stops are going to be, right? We want to make our stop based off of our ATR. So let's bring up our calculator here. Our ATR is currently 53.33. We're going to times that by 3. 159.99. So honestly, we can just say 160. So we're going to say $9,996.34 minus 160. Okay. $9,836.34. Is it super clear of the price action? No, but it's also not super tight either. It's based off of the ATR times 3. So, I mean, where your take profit's going to be on this long, right? You know, you probably, if you split them up to 3 take profits, you've probably got one here. You've probably got another one up here, and then you've probably got another one up here. So, you know, I think those are pretty decent take profits, right? So let's whip out our long tool and actually measure where these are going to be, right? So you've got a stop down here, and then you've got your take profit up here. So this is a 2.25 basically to 1 trade. So honestly, not too bad. Let's go ahead and get these measurements exact. Let's go ahead and drag this out on the 1 hour, 15-minute chart here. So it's looking like it's not super long, maybe just a few hours. And let's hit play and see how this turned out. Wow. Okay. So that definitely worked. So all of these stops that were in here, all of these got taken out. Everybody's stops that were in here with these wicks, these all got taken out here. So if your stop was here for this, or a little lower than this, you definitely got stopped out on this, right? So all of your typical stops, all of the stops for these levels in here, all of those got taken out. All of this got taken out on this dip. And guess what? After that, our stop was safe. Not only did we hit our first target, we hit our second target and we hit our third target. All targets were met on this, 3.46% profit. So if that normally on lower timeframes, I'm normally doing 10x, 34, almost 35%. So that is the power of using ATR as your stop loss. Now, normally when you're trading Forex, I will make a note of this because this is very important. You can use the same strategy for Forex. However, in Forex, you do not need to times it by 3. You only need to times it by 2. Why? Because the markets are in general a little less volatile and there's a lot more liquidity in Forex and stock markets, okay? So you can use the same strategy and use the same thing for different markets. But in crypto, you need to times it by 3 to adjust for those extra huge, manipulation wicks and stuff like that. That's just the way that crypto is. I've been using this very successfully now for a couple years. As I mentioned, this is my own personal strategy. Yes, my stops are a little looser. Yes, when they get hit, does it hurt? Yes, but 90% of the time, they're not getting hit and I'm making massive gains off of this and my targets are getting met every single time. Okay, so Very, very important there. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Again, make sure that you smash that like and subscribe button. Make sure that you check the information in the description below for that next $50 giveaway. I hope you all are well, and until my next tutorial, happy trading.